Now it's 6. The Webb City Farmers Market was open today before the holiday with a special visitor. Plus, the Joplin Empire Market was open as well for their tinsel and tidings market. And we take a look at some last-minute shopping in the four-state area.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
The Joplin Empire Market hosted their tinsel and tidings Christmas Eve market today. The Christmas Eve market gave last-minute shoppers a chance to get a gift from local vendors. The market was indoors and everybody stayed warm.
I think it's important where you spend your money, and if you want to have more local opportunities, more small businesses, then you have to invest in it. And it's been really neat over the years to watch this market grow and to have the variety of markets that we do in our area. I think it makes Joplin a better place to live and work.
This was the final Joplin Empire Market for the year. The market will be back in session on January 7th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Cale Chapman. The Webb City Farmers Market was open today, giving local shoppers a chance to pick some local goods before the holiday. Vendors had local produce, raw honey, baked goods, and gifts available for purchase. The market provided a hot breakfast with coffee or hot chocolate.
It's fantastic. There's nothing like it around, in my opinion, in this area for the holidays. I mean, you can look around, we've got like glittery garland up all over. Santa's here taking pictures with little kids. We still have fresh produce, like there are mushrooms at that table for sale, and also like hot drinks and crafts and last minute Christmas gifts. So it's, it's kind of your one-stop shop.
Santa stopped by the market for one last chance to talk with the kids.
Meadowbrook Mall in Pittsburgh has quite a few visitors on Christmas Eve. Some may be doing Christmas shopping right before the big day. Residents say there may even be more things to find last minute.
Did some shopping last night also for some surprise guests that are coming to my house, and all the stuff that I saw was way different from what I'd seen when I did my shopping earlier. So I'm thinking that shopping kind of like the last 2 days before Christmas is the best time to go.
It can be easier to go in the stores together to get desired gifts.
I'm bringing my great-granddaughter in here to shop for her. Being a teenager, I wasn't quite sure what she would like or not like, so we came here to find what we could find.
Some residents are enjoying the day before Christmas, looking around the stores.
I have a friend that's she's going to have a grandbaby soon, and we were looking at baby clothes and just baby's first ornament and that kind of stuff, because I have a new grandbaby as well.
It is a tradition for some residents to come to the mall right before Christmas to finish up.
Seems like we make several trips every year. This being the last day, we're finishing up at Bath and Body. We got some lotion for who? Grandma Mary? Mary. Yes, and then we went to the slime store and we picked up some gifts for cousins, Archer and Sister Valerie and Frank. He got a little something too.
The mall has a good amount of visitors, but it's not too full to complete shopping.
Post-COVID, I think we're all really excited to be back out. We're still fighting, colds and COVID, but we're being careful. We've learned a lot, and people are back out and at it. It's really exciting.
In Pittsburgh, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us with a first look at the weather.
Yes, thank you very much. It's been a cold day across the four states with the snow on the ground, making it nice and pleasant for Santa Claus, of course. And we are keeping a track on the Sleigh Tracker radar right now, watching for Santa Claus in the four-state area. But do we have an update on it? Thank you, Blaine. Appreciate that. Right now, it appears that Santa Claus has been reported now in the United States, in the northern parts of the United States. We're going to zoom in on that area and show you where he's at. Right now, he's near Christmas Cove, Maine, traveling at about 500 miles per hour at 25,000 feet. So he is starting to make his presence in the United States. So it's not going to be too long before Santa Claus gets closer to our area later on tonight. So the kids should be in bed pretty quick. We're going to be looking at temperatures cold tonight, generally falling through the teens down to single digits just in time for Santa, with a low of around 7 degrees. And of course, I'll have all the details coming up in a forecast, so stay tuned.
Well, the four states are not the only place struggling with the cold. In Houston, bats are freezing right now and falling to the ground. Cold temperatures send the bats into hypothermic shock, and they'll die unless they can warm up. The Houston Humane Society is working to save these bats from the frigid temperatures that hit the city this week. So far, the Humane Society has rescued 138 bats and are in the process of rehabilitating them. According to the Humane Society, the bats are freezing on the Wog Drive Bridge, a popular bridge that people visit to watch them take flight.
After that, we give them fluids under their skin to hydrate them, and then several hours after that we can start offering them food. We might lose them, yeah, they might migrate farther south. I don't know. I hope we can keep them, and I hope if we can build a community that takes care of them through events like this, that we can keep them here longer.
This Arctic blast brought winds, snow, and problems for utility customers like Jeff Hankins.
So we discovered about 4:30 this morning that the temperature in our house had dropped significantly.
After an attempt to turn on his fireplace, he stepped outside, braving the single-digit temperatures Friday morning to check his gas meter.
Finally figured out that there was probably a natural gas issue of some kind.
Not only was he right, he wasn't alone. Summit Utilities saying at least 100 customers affected in West Little Rock.
The extreme cold weather temperatures did cause some freezing on parts of our system that restricted gas flow to some of our customers.
Enough gas to keep most customers pilot light on, Lizzie Reinholt with the company tells me. Meanwhile, Friday afternoon, Entergy crews at homes like this one restoring electricity to customers. At their peak, Entergy Arkansas says at least 12,000 customers did not have electricity Friday. The Arctic air and winds the culprit behind the utility company's challenges.
Tree limbs to fall on power lines, and that has caused most of the outages.
Matt Ramsey with Entergy Arkansas says majority of the outages impacting Garland, Faulkner, and Pulaski County. Crews weathering the freezing temperatures are both working quickly to restore power, but also keeping themselves safe.
Making sure that they've got their warm winter gear on just like everybody else, but mostly just taking their time.
Reinholt tells me Summit Utilities are looking over how they can best prevent outages during bitterly cold temperatures. Meanwhile, Jeff is happy the service is restored just in time for the Christmas holiday.
We were trying to come up with Plan B for a family gathering, and we're fortunate to be able to have the family over.
In Little Rock, Frederick Price, THV 11 News.
We take time now to honor a local veteran. Jasper R. Current served in the Army in World War II and the Korean War. Current was drafted on April 28th of 1944 and served until January 1959. The Sheldon, Missouri native served as a Pacific Theater security guard. To Corporal Jasper Current, we salute you, a four-state hero. And coming up next, how some cold weather is causing some pipes to rupture and burst in Arkansas. The wild winter cold is freezing and bursting pipes in Arkansas. KTHV TV's Ian Russell reports.
The cold weather isn't just annoying, it's also causing issues for homeowners. Burst and frozen pipes are what many of us are seeing today, and the ones fixing them are staying busy.
In a quiet neighborhood in Maumelle, these guys are hard at work.
Today's the second call, and we've had a couple more added on us since we've been here.
And they're not alone. Plenty of people woke up to burst pipes, cold water, and other issues caused by the cold weather, including the Wadleys.
Well, my husband woke up and tried to use the hot water and notified me we did not have hot water. No, this has never happened before.
No hot water to start the day isn't ideal. That's where Richard and Nicholas come in. Inside to the attic, not much warmer than outside.
Cold line feeds into the hot, heats water, and it pushes out the other way. So with no flow in here, that tells us coming to the heater that the cold line here is froze.
Despite their best efforts, the Wadleys really tried. They couldn't stop this from happening.
We did, but not on the hot water. Because I had the tankless water heater, I didn't even think about the water heater.
Unfortunately, they're not alone. We called some other plumbers who told us they had hundreds of calls for service before noon. And while you wait for help from them, there's only a handful of things you can really do.
I've seen people try to, with heat guns and, trying to do it on their own, if they have that knowledge.
Pretty much on a situation like this, we're going to recommend to keep a heater up there.
That's the best thing to do right now, for sure.
Thankfully, we're supposed to thaw out soon and warm up over the weekend. And with warmer temps comes a better chance of those recommendations working.
Just keep the faucets dripping and your cabinets open.
With the snow across the nation, people have been out doing all sorts of activities from skiing to ice skating. It's important to remember safety while having fun out in the snow, as some people in Utah are learning this weekend. Crews rescued a 48-year-old woman who was injured while sledding near Alpine. Spencer Cannon of the Utah County Sheriff's Office said search and rescue crews were called to Horsetail Falls in Utah County shortly before 2:30 p.m. The Horsetail Falls Trail is a nearly 5-mile out and back trail near Alpine that is generally considered a challenging route according to all trails. She was a little challenging to reach according to Cannon, and that's why they needed to use a helicopter to bring her down. Rescue teams had to hike nearly 2 miles to reach the woman. Crew members were seen transporting the victim from the helicopter to an ambulance around 5 p.m. She was then brought to a local hospital for further evaluation.
From what I was told from some people that was there with her, something under the snow may have caught her foot and twisted it.
The woman's injuries were not immediately known, although officials stated she had suffered a serious ankle injury. And a little later, we're going to have a look at holiday traveling troubles.
And we're still looking at sleigh tracker radar to tell you where Santa's going to be. We'll have all that and your forecast when we return. Well, just in time for Christmas and Santa's arrival, the cold air arrived with the snow, helping him out a little bit with the sleigh. We're going to be looking at radar here in just a second to show you where Santa is located currently. Right now, though, in Seneca, Missouri, it's a pretty nice night. Cold, of course, at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. They've also cleared off the parking lot there, as this was snowpacked yesterday, so they're cleaning up a little bit there. We just checked a few moments ago, and on sleigh tracker radar, we noticed Santa Claus was near North Pole, New York, which is just west of Burlington, Vermont. So he is starting to make his progress in the northeastern United States and eventually will make it here into the 4 states a little bit later. Temperature this afternoon was up to 19 degrees after starting out at 4, nowhere near the normals, of course. 75, a year ago today, we set a record high. Can you believe that? And back in 1983, we were setting record lows of -10. So at least it could be worse if you want to look at the temperatures that way. Radar right now in our local area is clear. Temperatures are in the teens right now, very North Pole-like, 18 in Fort Scott, 13 in Iola, 13 in Yates Center, 17 a little bit off to the east of Joplin. Let's take a look at the temperatures 24 hours ago. We're actually 10 degrees warmer now than we were last night, so at least we're making some progress as far as the temperatures. But when you look at the feels like, it still feels pretty cold out there. 9 in Nevada is what it feels like, 11 in Lamar, 9 in Webb City, 4 is what it currently feels like for those poor folks up in Iola. The winds have died down a little bit, but right now around 4 miles per hour up there in Iola, giving a little bit of wind chill. And tomorrow we're going to see the winds increasing once again, especially ahead of the next storm system that's going to be dropping into our area overnight tomorrow night. 17 right now in Joplin, west wind at 6, feels like 9. The dew point is 5 and the humidity 59%, and the pressure is steady at a high 30.51. Temperatures tonight are going to drop down into the single digits everywhere with light and variable winds. Then as we go through tomorrow, we're going to see highs in the 20s, maybe even some 30s down in Oklahoma. But here comes the next storm system, moving our way late tomorrow night into early Monday morning, spreading some snow and sleet and maybe an icy mixture further down into Oklahoma. Don't expect a whole lot in accumulations, but if you're going to be traveling, just be aware of that. Then on Monday, the front moves through with temperatures falling behind it on northwesterly winds, highs in the lower 30s across the area, then dropping down into the teens for Tuesday morning, maybe a few single digits way up to the north. And if we take a look at the snow tracker, here comes that storm system, mainly making its impact around 4 to 5 a.m. in the Joplin area. Then it moves rapidly away from our area. Now let's take a look at the forecast over the next 7 days. We're going to be seeing temperatures rapidly warm as we go through the rest of the week. 31 tomorrow, well 31 on Monday, and then 40 on Tuesday, and then close to 63 on Thursday with another chance of rain next weekend. But it's going to be rain, not snow.
Well, there you go.
Making progress.
Heck yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, that powerful, deadly winter storm is still wreaking havoc this Christmas Eve. The deep freeze is leaving folks without power, and it's crippling travel ahead of the holiday weekend. Charles Watson has more from Atlanta.
This week's once-in-a-generation storm sweeping across the country, bringing a dangerous combination of record-breaking cold, snow and ice, and high winds. The massive storm plunging much of the country into a deep freeze, impacting almost every state. Multiple governors declaring a state of emergency. Millions of Americans under winter weather warnings or advisories. Destructive winds downing trees and power lines, leaving nearly 1.8 million across the country without power.
They are then knocking down limbs and branches onto power lines, onto equipment, and causing those outages.
The bomb cyclone slammed part of the Northeast and Great Lakes, bringing whiteout conditions.
The conditions, the blinding snow, the zero visibility, absolute whiteouts, it may go down as one of the worst in history.
Hazardous roads coupled with closures, forcing some drivers to hunker down wherever they were.
Seems like I'll be here through the weekend.
Those dangerous driving conditions leading to accidents, including this fatal 50-vehicle pileup in Ohio. Meanwhile, folks trying to get to their holiday destinations are still dealing with the residual impact of the bad weather. Cancellations and delays are down from Friday, but are both still remaining in the thousands.
Well, you won't be home for family and can't do anything about it.
Travel troubles are not expected to let up over the weekend, with thousands of flights already delayed and canceled through Sunday.
Still ahead, Pittsburgh State head coach Brian Wright joins us in studio. Check out his extended interview with sports director Jacob Leonard after the break.
Welcome back, everybody. We're sitting down now with Pittsburgh State head football coach Brian Wright. Coach, I appreciate you being out here. The season ended for you guys about a month ago. The first thing I want to ask you, what have you guys been up to, in the last few weeks since the season ended?
Well, we hit the road hard recruiting the day after the last game, so hard at work, getting ready for next season.
After the year ends and after that final game, I've always been curious, how much time do you give yourself to take a breath and look back and, I guess kind of enjoy all that you guys accomplished this season?
I think I'm still in that moment, Jacob. You look back and you say that was a good year, and still disappointed in how we finished, and looking back at the things maybe you could have done differently, but overall excited of what we accomplished.
The team that knocked you guys out of the playoffs in the second round, Ferris State, went on to win the whole thing. And there are going to be people that are, we lost to the national champs, and that's okay. But I imagine it lands differently for you guys. It's not really a consolation. It's, man, we were a couple plays away from that being us. How does it land for you to see Ferris State go on and win the whole thing?
Yeah, it's hard. It was hard to even watch part of that game, and I guess good thing that we were busy recruiting while that game was going on. It's not a consolation, it's just, you go back and you relive that game as coaches do and players do, and know there's a lot of things that you could have done better, and give you a lot of things to work towards next season.
Some good news for you guys. In the last few weeks you've had some guys named All-Americans. PJ, Trace, and Devin have earned All-America honors. First off, what makes those guys special, and how cool is it for you guys as a program to have multiple All-Americans?
Well, those guys showed up big on Saturday afternoons, and not only that, they worked hard to get to that point in the in the off season and in the days leading up to those ball games. We have so many guys like that. It's hard just to see 3 guys get the honors, because you think there's so many out there that are deserving, and we had 18 that were all MIAA conference award winners. So. Very good there, and I just think it speaks to where we're at as a program right now and the caliber of players that we have.
You're going to be graduating and losing some, pretty big leaders on your team. PJ is one of those. Elijah, Zeke, Malikas. Talk about, kind of what those guys, what kind of impact they've had on your program since you've gotten here, and I guess how tough it will be to replace some of those guys as leaders.
Well, that's a special group. Some guys there that have been with us since my first day here, and a group of guys that have worked so extremely hard behind the scenes. And a couple of those guys, Elijah, Bryce, probably not having the seasons that they wanted, so it was tough to go through it with them in that regard. But what a special group of young men, and they're going to go do special things. And we're excited about the young guys that are coming up to fill some of those shoes and kind of take that baton and take it further next year.
One thing I wanted to ask you, we talked about All-Americans a second ago. How much have you had a chance to watch what Dallas Flowers is doing with the Colts? Have you had a chance to see him or visit with him about what he's kind of done in his rookie season?
I haven't had a chance to visit with him yet, but thanks to Twitter and thanks to some of the highlights out there, I get to see some of those kickoff returns, and looks pretty familiar.
How important are these next few months and, being on the recruiting trail? It's the off-season work. It's the work that, people don't really see. How important are these next few weeks to what you guys want to do in 23?
Yeah, so critical right now. We're building our program and recruiting, whether that be high school guys or transfer guys that maybe are going to come in and have a little bit more of a immediate impact on your program. And once we get back in January, we'll be full go in the weight room and in our off-season program. So critical to your success. And, we talk all the time that you win and lose football games in the off season and kind of behind the lines when nobody's watching.
All right, Coach, congratulations on a great season. It was so much fun to cover you guys this year. I appreciate you coming out. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jacob.
You can check out our full interview with Coach Wright on the website at KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be right back.
The 700-foot tall Paramount Miami World Center is the Magic City's soaring signature skyscraper. It features the world's most technologically advanced LED animation system. Starting December 22nd and running through December 26th, the Paramount Tower illuminates every morning before dawn and from sunset to midnight. This year, it's dressed up as a candy cane. The Paramount Miami World Center skyscraper is built with 16,000 LEDs embedded with 10,000 panes of high-impact resistant glass. The $3 million Color Kinetics animation lighting system can create a combination of over 16 million colors. It took 3 years for a team of 12 technicians to install the system.
Wow, that's a big, tall candy cane.
Oh, for sure, delicious.
Oh, yes. Leave out those cookies for Santa Claus, because Late Tracker Radar has Santa in the four-state area right now near Knoll, Missouri, and he is moving fast. Is that? I think that might be Santa now, right here in Pittsburgh. So, folks, it's going to be very cold tonight for Santa, and of course 29 tomorrow, and then maybe some snow late tomorrow night into early Monday morning. So watch out for if you have travel plans, but then it gets warmer after that, close to 63 on Thursday.
Well, there you go. Merry Christmas, everybody. We will leave you with a video of a water skiing Santa. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.